Hey, everybody, it's your Congressman, Jamie Raskin. Hello to all my friends out in Maryland's beautiful 8th Congressional District and across Maryland and across America tuning in. It's my favorite time of the week, Local Hero, when we get to meet and interact with the people who make life here so beautiful. And you're going to love my local hero for today, Friday, May 10th. It is Levi Robinson, who is a local artist. And he was one of the judges, one of the 9 judges in Maryland's 8th Congressional District Art Competition. And we just met last Sunday, where we were able to check out all of the extraordinary art that was submitted and chosen to be exhibited at Viz Arts in Rockville. There were 154 8th District students who submitted their artwork. 63 were invited to exhibit at Viz Arts. It is the most spectacular exhibit you can imagine. You got to go check it out. It will be there through this Sunday, May 12th. And 22 students were chosen as second place runners-up, and 1 student was selected as the winner for a really phenomenal, striking piece of art that will hang in the U.S. Capitol for a year. And so this is a process that my great staff has invested a lot of time and energy in. So we're recognizing all of the kids. And then we've had 9 judges, and Levi Robinson is one of them, and he's an amazing artist who has donated and contributed his time to this process. And I wanted to recognize him for all of the work he's done with us and with other artists and young artists. He is a studio artist and he's a muralist. He started painting murals during the COVID-19 epidemic. His major influences have been artists like Ernest Barnes and Rembrandt. His work adorns galleries all across the Maryland, DC, Virginia area, and ranges as far as New England and Sierra Leone, where he celebrated the repatriation of African descendants from the diaspora through commissioned murals that he did over there. He plays a pivotal role as co-founder of Grail Art House, a small art studio in Rockville, and is a member of the DMV League of Artists Art Collective, through which he has showcased his creations at many prestigious art fairs and installations, including Spectrum at Art Basel in Miami. Everybody, please welcome for this week's local hero, Levi Robinson. And Levi, congratulations to you.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor to be here, have this conversation with you.
All right, well, before we talk about the competition, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it, I wanted to ask you about your work as an artist and what it's like to be an artist in our community these days.
Oh my, it's one of the most rewarding things I've, obviously outside of being, a dad and, and all of those things, whatever roles you play as, in your personal life. It's one of the most exciting and, one of the things I'm most grateful for, is the ability to create this work and put it out and, help others, get into this space and express themselves. It's just been great.
Tell me about the development of painting murals, which started just several years ago. And I know you've gotten acclaim everywhere from USA Today, the New York Times, Reuters, National Geographic for your murals. Tell me about that.
Oh man, that experience changed my life. It was right during the height of the pandemic. We were commissioned by a couple of development companies, real estate development companies, to come out and, at that time, they were trying to protect their establishments from vandalism and the like. And so they had artists, throughout the city really come out and, paint positive messages on, like, if the windows were boarded up, we were allowed to paint on the boarded windows, or if they weren't boarded up, they allowed us to paint on the windows directly. And so I was brought out by an organization called the Paints Institute, who is the founder is no longer with us. Tragically, he passed, right after we done much of this work. But he brought me out, and this was my first time doing murals. And I was just allowed to grow in that space. And oddly enough, as soon as we started, George Floyd was killed. And so the whole narrative sort of now included not just, positive messaging, try to get everyone through the pandemic. It had now shifted to, we need to talk about this moment. We need to speak into this civil unrest. And so we partnered with, I'm just names, we partnered with the Downtown DC Bid. And they had us come out and basically put up all kinds of murals all throughout Gallery Place. That then led to us going over to what's now Black Lives Matter Plaza, where we did murals over there. And I mean, it just ignited, throughout the country. You had the painting of the mural on the street. Now people were echoing that throughout the country, and it was such an important time for artists. The idea that what we do has the ability to be so impactful, like really landed on us during this time. Prior to it, you're just doing the work and you're just, standing in your, in your little circle trying to make an impact, I guess. But
so
that
you
moment
ended up doing murals that dealt with the various problems around racism that were raised during that period.
Yes.
And tell me, as a matter of artistic technique, how doing murals differed from the studio arts that you've been working on.
Oh, wow. Scale to begin with. The scale to go from, working on a 30 by 40 or, 36 by 48 canvas to working on a 10-foot wall, or larger. I mean, it's a different set of techniques. There are different sensibilities you bring to it, and the materials. We incorporate a lot of spray paint, as well as acrylics. But it was such in the learning curve. When we were doing it, everything was happening so fast that if you're an artist that's learning the mural space in that climate, it's like you don't have time really to sit down and like really, you just have to do it, And so that's kind of where I was at. I was kind of thrust into it and things just accelerated. And so I kind of learned quickly,
Were you doing like a miniature design on a smaller canvas and then bring it up?
Yeah.
Is that how?
Yes.
Behind you right now, that's a piece you did. I think you told me it's called I'm Always in My Head. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And that was a painting that came to you when you returned from Sierra Leone. Is that right?
That's correct.
Africa.
Yes.
Well, look, tell me about your experience working as a judge in our competition. We're going to get to share with my constituents a lot of the artwork that we found from the remarkable young people who participated. But you were one of 9 professional artists who volunteered or were voluntold they were going to participate with us. And tell me what your experience was like studying all of their different art and dealing with the young people's contributions.
Oh man, it was amazing. Unique pieces of work. The work that these young people are doing is just unbelievable, and they're covering, pretty much in every genre you can think of. There was collage work, there was oil paintings, there was pastel work, there was acrylic, I mean, you name it, watercolors, portraiture, abstract pieces. I mean, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing to see. Not only, that young people are taking on this, this or getting into this genre, but just for them to be so broad in scope, Um,
Photography, of course, and penmanship.
photography, yeah, and
Artwork.
photography, yeah, yeah, it was amazing, amazing. These kids are so talented, you know. It was very difficult, you know,
Yeah.
narrowing down the winner. Um,
And,
but
as you guys were closing in, what are some of the criteria that became the most significant and salient as you were talking? I mean, because you're talking about really an extraordinary class of submissions, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, you can see the development, you know, in many artists. Sometimes you can't, sometimes, and that's intentional, but you can sort of see, a young artist's ability, to uh, control the principles, some of the principles of design, form, composition, all of those things, so you try to look at those things, the technical things, but then beyond the technical things, you want to look at, how creative is the piece, how well did they articulate that idea, whatever that idea was that they were trying to get across. All of those things, kind of go into how you ultimately make the final decision. And none of the young people that were a part of this competition were losers. No one lost here. It's this young man, in my eyes, he just sort of hit some of the notes that I thought distinguished him from some of the other work. But even in deciding to choose him, it was tough,
Yeah.
because there were
Well,
people right there with him.
the
And
submissions were so sensational, so
yeah,
spectacular. We'll get to share those with
really,
people. Well, I'm certainly glad that it was you and professional artists who were doing it instead of me and my staff, although my staff, some of them were very adept at this, but I know in some of the other districts, it's something like that. But we've got such amazing artists here, and people have stepped forward to help us do it, and to help show off what's going on with the young people. We're grateful to you for everything you do to enrich our lives, Levi, as an artist, also as a volunteer to help with arts and to help with the young people. And we salute you as our local hero this week.
thank you, thank you. It's a great, great, great honor. So thank you, you and your entire staff. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.